gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the GFreak Speaks podcast, episode number 44. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest on today, Michael CARMODY. How you doing, man? Welcome.
It has been a week, my man.
It
It
has.
has been a week. It's like every time I turn around this week, something weird has happened. I think I tweeted out like 2 days ago. It's like, can the entire world take a global chill pill? I just need less stuff to happen. Didn't get my wish, but we're here. So look, we're not chilling.
Kept going. The shitstorm kept brewing. Look at Florida right now, man. That place is literally getting torn apart. Melbourne Royal Show as well. That chick jumping on the coaster. Oh my god!
My Halo team was in Orlando.
Yeah,
like 4 days ago. Like it's like, get out of town, boys! Like the apocalypse is coming. Just get on the first plane and leave, please.
Where do you go though? Where's a safe place if an apocalypse happens?
Well,
Sweden.
Okay, we need to talk about the type of apocalypse, right?
Okay,
like, are we talking like zombie? Like I'm going for the least populated place up on a hill somewhere with as much ammo as I can get.
Yeah.
If it's like a viral apocalypse, it's like gas mask and then, try not to catch it, I guess.
Yeah.
But if you're talking like flood, like we're talking like torrential, earth cataclysmic weather storm, the biggest rock that you can find is going to be where that goes. And unfortunately for Florida right now, not known for its large mountain ranges, which is probably why it gets dumped on for every large hurricane that hits it. But anyway, my Halo boys aren't there. Not the world's biggest fan of Florida. Look, humans love humans. The general concept of humans being okay, but those Americans can. Yeah, we'll best leave that left unsaid.
We'll leave that. They got some crazy fucking crocodile alligators there and crazy Florida man, all that type of shit going on. So it's fair enough. Let's jump back to that story that you told me before the podcast. Of this friend of yours. You had that group chat. It's 20 years old. For people listening, it's 20-year-old group chat. Give a quick synopsis. For all of your potentially younger viewers, and I want to say hello to all the younger viewers. We were at Fortress, I think, at that COD event a few months back, and I think you actually had a posse of your fans actually rock up. We were very excited to see you, and get photos with you and all the rest. So I have seen that. So hello to the fans of Jacko. Very glad that you're enjoying the show. But I'm old, okay, and I want you to know that I'm very old. Is that I have sons who are actually older than maybe some of your viewers, which is slightly depressing for me. So I have things like a 20th anniversary of high school graduation. That means that I graduated high school 2 decades ago. And so we had someone made a Facebook chat, organized it, blah, 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 blah. A Facebook chat exists. All you need to care about. That was 5 years ago. So for 5 years, like if you're sitting there and you're looking at your Discord and you scroll down your DMs a few pages, you may find a chat that was a few weeks old, a few months old, whatever else. So in my Facebook chat group, there was one that was 5 years old and it went ping. And why is this messaging? And people are talking and people were confessing life circumstances and people were reconnecting. And it's like, well, this is extremely odd. Like I don't often get these zombie chats come back to life and stay alive. And then so this has been going off all week. Everyone's just been talking about this and, I was in jail and I've just gotten out. And I'm like, I know we went to high school 25 years ago, but why are we confessing this? Anyway, so that's all it's done. And someone mentions, Bo, can't all be famous like Bo when we're talking about, kids, life, whatever else. I go, famous like Bo? Who's like, I know Bo, like, went to school with Bo, Bo was the little guy, he was whatever else, but now he's apparently famous. So I Google Bo, and it's like, he's got a website and a Wikipedia entry and an IMDb page and on YouTube and 30 million views. And it's just like, I'm not on YouTube enough, apparently, to know that my own high school, co-student is apparently one of these really big-time Australian YouTubers or something. So, look, my week has been a wild ride, and I haven't even been involved with half of it. So, look, strange things happened, and I did not expect that to be my TIL. Like, some days it's nice to learn things. Some days you don't want to learn things. Yeah.
Anyway, so what was your weird TIL this week, man?
Weird one. Probably the weirdest thing was just jumping back on the tools for the first time in a year.
Oh, really? So what is the tools? You got to tell me what the tools are.
Well, the tools is jumping on the diamond grinder, the big 550 kilo machine, remote control. Use the thumb to control
industrial tools.
Yeah, industrial tools,
Yeah.
big boys. Big yellow tags and 3-phase power, 32 amps. I know,
and those big red punch here in case your shoulder is being sucked into the machine type buttons.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, yes, that machine does have it, but I've never had to use it. Actually, yes, I have. I lie. It gets very close to.
See, that sounds like a story for later.
It gets very close to edges sometimes, and because this thing's spinning underneath, right? You're never going to get your toe or anything caught under there unless you're standing right next to it and you're stupid. You stand back from it a meter. You watch what it's doing as it drives forward and backwards and turns. But sometimes, like, I get close to windows, like these aluminium frame windows, or like the close to these poles that are mounted to the ground. And if you hit that, you fuck the machine, because all the acoustic belts that are in there, they have to be acoustically tuned. You hit that, you're up for about $5,000. So you don't do that, because this machine's worth about $40,000.
Yeah, the machines you do not want to break.
Yeah, it's a big Husqvarna. But yeah, that's pretty much been it, man. Plenty of other things happening, but look, that's probably the biggest one. The body's a little bit sore.
Oh, is it actually something that like you have to lug and move around, like it's like to reposition and things?
That one sometimes, yeah. Depending on where it is in like the job site and whatnot, because you do have to tilt it up, pick it up, and wheel it, and use the remote to wheel it whilst you're holding the handles up, so the front weight, the 500 kilos, doesn't go on the ground. So we can go forward when it's spinning, but when it's not spinning and you want to transport it around, then yeah, you have to.
All right, so if I can ask, and I know this is your podcast where you're technically interviewing me, but if I can reverse the roles a little bit.
A bit of Step Brothers.
Yeah, like I did know. I did
know
notice that.
You know the movie? How they're getting the job interviews and they're wearing the tuxedos and shit? And
is this the one where they've got like there's so much more room for activities, or is that a different movie?
That's that
movie. Okay,
that's it.
Yes. Yeah. I have watched it once. It has been some time. Okay. So I'm not going to get all of the references.
Okay.
So slightly sad news, and I don't know if this is what you've covered in current events, but I did notice on the Twitter that you had unfortunately not working where you were working. And I did not know what your day job was, because to me, you are your online identity. And that's, of course, how I normally interact with people. So what I wanted to ask is that you've gone from what I know, which was a very knowledge-based knowledge worker sort of role, to apparently not blowing up $40,000 pieces of machines that can cause significant damage.
Yep.
How's it feel? Like, are you like? I know you said you're happy to be back on the tools, but look, I have a running joke that one day I just get so sick of IT that screw it, I'm going to go grow cabbages, because cabbage farming is just the most remote thing that I can think of, because I just get so frustrated with work. Have you ever had that? I'm so frustrated with my, UI UX job, I just want to go and just like grind some concrete to dust or something. Like, is that how that worked, or?
Well, look, before that I was doing it for 7 years, and then the opportunity arose from a very successful gentleman in Australia. He gave me a phone call to come work for the company, so I did. It was actually a part-time gig, but then they were really impressed with the job interview, and they said, well, we got a full-time job for you. Do you want to jump on? And I said, yeah, okay, let's give it a shot.
Entirely a win.
Let's give it a shot. And turns out I was really good at doing product and UX and UI. And I'm really passionate about it as well. It's super fun. I get to express my inner artist and develop something that I thought that was really good for users and whatnot. I also had a lot of people come in and test that as well, and they also agreed that, for example, my design that I did, that I'd like to push and that I felt would help build communities, was more suited than what we currently had. And that was what happened. We changed over to we were processing the design to change over to that, because of what I actually built for the community, as I'm a very community-based person. Having a knowledge in this industry and how to build communities and all that type of stuff, it was very exciting and interesting to me to be able to do that, and like the whole color psychology behind everything, and why you put things where because of ergonomics, and where people's thumbs are, and everyone's right-handed, and 81.9% of the globe like dark mode preferred to light mode, and all those types of things. It was very interesting to me. Go back a step. I don't know if you saw it, but it was on Twitter or it was on meme or Reddit somewhere recently, where there's like two guys hosing down a truck, and this little old lady walks up to the hose on the ground, and she could step over it, like she could have rolled.
I saw
over
it.
She could.
I saw it.
You know what I'm talking about? And then she picks up the hose, lifts it over her head, and goes. Yeah, and goes under it.
Yeah.
And it's just, and the thing I saw it is like, when you think your feature is obvious to the end user, and this is what happens. And I'm like 100%, that's where my brain is going. It's like, good user experience, good user interface design is actually an arcane divine art where you come down from the mountain and somehow you've built something and the user uses it in the way that you intended, and you are the absolute legend. Like you have achieved it. Like I have a few developers at my day job, and it's fine, and we'll build something, and then the user will use it, and the guy goes, I have no idea why he clicked there. No one would click there. Who would click there? He clicked there, and it went bang. And it's like, look, my man, like the way we're going to test our app in the future is we're going to get the puppy that one of my employees brings a puppy in, and we're just going to attach him to a mouse and make him run around in circles, and wherever it clicks, that's what our software has to endure, because that's what users do.
Yep. Absolutely. But to answer your question in full, there is frustrating days, and it's not like I want to go back to the trade. It's more, I want to beat the fuck out of every single thing in this office, throwing everything everywhere, utter destruction. I'm more of a destruction person, but I don't do it, because then I have regrets after. Like, you know, when you were younger, you were like, I'm going to throw this fucking controller, but then you punch a pillow instead, because if you throw a pillow, you're not going to break anything, or you punch that, you're like, Urgh! I never ever threw anything. Never threw anything of any value around any house anywhere, which is good. When you do it, you're like, yes, but then afterwards you feel regret. So you never do that. But yeah, you have those frustrating moments, and I think that's everywhere. But then you sit down and you structure how to overcome that and when to move on from there. Because if you keep dwelling on it, well, then you're going to be fucked. Simple as that. So you know, but then we find ourselves back in the trade. After that, and whilst we're searching for another job, which is exciting because new jobs lead to new opportunities and new personal development, which I'm looking forward to, and I love job interviews. They're great.
So from what I understand, you had one today, or is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow. I got one tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh,
good
luck with it all.
I appreciate
No. Well, I won't go there, but good luck with it all. All power to you and your
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Yeah. I'm keen for it. I love presenting. Love it. If you hadn't noticed, I love getting up on stage and stuff and presenting. I love standing up there, presenting something, a design idea, pushing why it should work. If someone says, no, it shouldn't work that way, I'll be like, well, data says this and this and this. What are your thoughts about that? I agree. Yes, I understand. However, I've looked into this, this, and this. And criticism is great as well, because it helps with personal development, which is something that people need to really focus on. Taking criticism is harder than dishing it out. You know what I mean? And saying no, because you've got to be able to have that ability to have the sword swing both ways.
Well, it's an interesting dynamic, because I have, again, I'm a reasonably, I like to cause some drama online. Let's say that from time to time. Now, my normal day-to-day personality, you know, I'm a boring CEO type. I have to manage, you know, about 15 staff. I have sons, I have wife, I have a community I'm involved with. And for the most part, I'm the peacekeeper. And for whatever reason, maybe because I keep it also under control and very placid for whatever else, Twitter may get my more antagonistic side, let's just say. So sometimes, like Nick Babia, who is a fellow CEO over at a rival esports organization, and I will just shit post in under his tweets out of heartbeat. Like, do I have any hesitation? No. Like, I have zero filter. If I'm going to post something shitty under Nick Babia's tweets, I just go. I let it leave. And Nick and I have a reasonable, like, we talk in our DMs and, you know, we chat and whatever else. And he and I have a pretty good relationship in, you know, we will talk about the real problems in our industry and things to that effect. But I think he has a pretty good understanding that if I'm in his replies absolutely giving it to him, he'll give it back to me. And it was even like at the recent DreamHack event where I'm like, I'm going to take out fucking chimps in halos, like, fuck the cheese, I'm going to rah, rah. And he won. Okay, I want to say he did his team beat my team in the grand final. And okay, that's going to happen. And he replied, just a simple reply, like, it's really good to just shut MindFreak up on LAN,
Yeah,
which
I
is
saw that. I saw that.
great tweet. Absolutely love it, because that's me getting it back
Yep.
from that point of view. But what's underneath that is that Nick and I actually are adults and we talk, and we're not sitting there putting a whole lot of emotions on top of it, and we're not sitting there getting all our egos wrapped up in things, and that we can do this fun online banter. But underneath, if I think that Nick's fucked something up, I'll tell him.
Yep.
And I'll go there and tell him. And he can come back and say, no, Michael, I don't think I fucked it up. I'm actually backing myself. And I'll accept that in reply from him, because, that's how mature people deal with these sort of things. So if you see people online really giving it to each other and scoring shots and setting the timeline on fire, we do enjoy that. And there is real fun and pleasure in taking the Chiefs down. I want to say we were the only team to take maps off Chiefs at DreamHack. So we got close, we were happy to grind this out.
Well done.
But yes, you did that. But, I don't mind being the challenger, to the incumbent on top of the mountain, so to speak. But yes, back to your original point, criticism. You need to be able to take it. You need to be able to take the pushback from it. Like, you need to be able to process it. And some of it is, I understand you're criticizing me, I won't emotionally react. And some of it is, I understand you're criticizing me, but I disagree.
Yep.
And the maturity to be able to do that is a really key skill to develop.
Yeah, it's extremely important, because to your point, you also on Twitter, you can use it for engagements and impressions, but at the same time, in a professional space, taking criticism is extremely important to your own personal development, whether that be in the field of creativity or the way you do something and produce, or just the way you handle yourself in general. Taking on board feedback really does help your personal development inside and outside of work. So it's extremely important, and it's needed, always needed, for sure. And criticism is good as long as it's constructive criticism. You look at Call of Duty right now. There's a lot of things wrong with that fucking game. Okay.
Well, beta, but yes, but that's why they put the beta out, right?
But this is, say it's the beta. It's 3 weeks before the game. Not much is going to change in 3 weeks. The UI is not going to change.
Point.
The UI from the Hulu executives is not going to change. That's it. That's final. They're not going to change all these perks. That's too hard to change. They're not going to change. The audio can be changed. The minimap can be brought back. The dead silence can be made so it doesn't swing out a beat when you activate it. All these, the muzzle flash can be nerfed and reduced, and all those things you can change. But the whole Warzone 2, the whole feel of it and the movement of characters, that can't be changed. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, and it's going to be so critical, because when you get these games on launch and everyone buys it, okay, everyone buys a new COD, but the problem is, will they keep playing the new COD?
Retention.
Will we get the player retention? Will we get the community? Will we get the competitive scene that then gets birthed out of it's the pinnacle of what should be a very large community base. And so, look, Vanguard was Vanguard. Is that as political as I can say that? Vanguard was itself.
Yeah. And then Cold War, Cold Sore was terrible too.
We're due for a good COD. Let's just say that. And look, it looked like some of the early indications were that people were like, "Oh, it feels okay to play. This could be good," but
we're just accepting it. We're just accepting below subpar of what they've previously done. That's what we're accepting.
Look, the bar keeps getting dragged lower at the moment. And I must say, as I'm a CEO and a business type, and I run around in the IT world, I must say that my opinion of Activision's management is not particularly great. Now, while that doesn't directly influence a particular studio, and we all know we're rotating through these studios, and is it a Treyarch game or is it a whatever, and et cetera and so forth, and we have different hopes that this COD is better because this developer is working on it this time. Fundamentally, what stays constant across all of the COD events is it's still an Activision title.
Yep.
And Activision, while they may not be directly developing it, they are, I'm going to presume, providing active feedback on their flagship title.
All they care about is shareholders, mate.
Well, they've got to make that, the number must go up,
Yep.
And that's the way that things work. And so I'm slightly, and I'm saying this with the biggest copium, where's my copium mask? I need to get into this. My hope is that with Microsoft
at the title, one of the things Microsoft is very happy to do is lose money to do it right. Okay, they're not great, they're not perfect, they're not going to be the perfect angelic, descend from on high to fix COD. But one thing that I have seen Microsoft do over 20 years is they're going to sit there and lose money on something, like lose $20 billion, like obscene amount of money, but at the end of it, it will be the best product. And they could weather that because they are the big 900-pound gorilla. What absolutely annoys the shit out of me around Blizzard Activision is that they are the 900-pound gorilla of our industry, and they're still acting like they're going to go out of business tomorrow, and they're doing all these really short-sighted and really short, plays that just hurt themselves. Like, how do you, as a company of their size and their alleged market cap and their alleged resourcing, go, no, we have to do the next 3 months, and we're going to focus on just the 3 months, and we're going to absolutely sell out everything over the year to do this really dumb decision in 3 months? And it breaks my brain. And so my only hope is that Microsoft, who has proven that they can take a longer-term view, will do things. And I have heard this, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but I'm pretty sure it's an open rumor, open secret now, that all of the CODs going forward are not going to be every year. We're going to be on a 2-year COD cycle.
Yep.
Which I would hope is a decent nod that their rapid short circuit, we got to sell 80 million CODs every 12 months shit, which is just undermining the game. Game never gets a chance to be good. By the time Vanguard even fixed half its bugs, we were already forgotten about it. We don't give a crap, and we're starting the pre-marketing for MW2, right?
Yeah.
Like how do you ever get a game to a point? And you've just got to give it more time. So I'm hoping the 2-year COD thing is at least a solid nod to that. But look, here's a crazy concept: 3-year COD.
Oh,
Really polish.
Let's hit the 2-year, okay? Let's get the 2-year happening first. Jesus.
Oh no, I always want more. But what I want is let's see what the best a COD can look like, because it feels like this rapid iteration is we've been trying to get the shittest a COD can look like, and we're getting pretty tired of it.
Well, we've seen some of the best. We have seen some of the best. We have, and that's in the 1-year cycle. And that's without.
That feels a bit more like good luck rather than good management. So
remember though, sorry to interrupt, but
please do.
Previous CODs, they didn't come with a 20 gig update just before you fucking play the game. You know what I mean? They didn't come with all these updates. They had additional DLC that would be slowly drip fed into the system. It would have. I felt like they were more connected to the community. I felt like the people developing the game were from the community, and they were heavily putting in what they believed was right. Like, how hard is it, Michael, for them to get a UX system happening, have people come in and give feedback? They've done that. Why can't they just listen to the community? What is it?
Where are all the quality control people? Like, there should be, for someone that is the size of Blizzard Activision and those premier tier 1 developers, is that my brain says that there is 100 people at least, if not hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, that should be bug testing and bug checking and quality assurance and quality control and doing all of the things. And it's like, okay, so what happened? Did 100 people go, I'm okay with this? Or did 100 people go, this is shit? And then the next tier went, well, so what? Like, this is what I'm trying to work out. What was the process here?
I don't know.
And to be honest, if I go on the balance of probabilities, it's the second scenario more likely than the first scenario. Okay, because the people who do QC, as much as they are abused and underpaid and whatever else, they're playing a game and they want to enjoy it. Like, they're not there to do a thing. If you are in QC in the games development industry, you're not there because it's a cushy job that you can phone in. Okay, you're there because you really love games, and this is like the entry point, and you get a chance to like maybe get to grips with the beginning of the game development cycle. So I can't believe that 100 people in that mindset went, we're okay with this. It's more likely that they, all of their feed got put into one ticket. Some product manager / development manager goes, oh, we get a lot of feedback. They don't like the UI. Look, I don't have time to do this for whatever reason. Deletes the ticket, and then nothing ever gets done about it. Like that seems more likely how we got here. Like, you hope maybe they go undelete the ticket and go, hey, we got all this really good feedback like years ago earlier in the development cycle, and maybe we should have actually paid attention to that.
Yep.
Just maybe.
I get it. They're trying to do something different, and they're trying to re-innovate. I get that, and I respect that, and thank you so much for trying that. However, I would understand that as well if the community was saying we want to change. At the moment, we know what's good. We know what has previously worked. Just if they dished us up a Modern Warfare 2 or a Call of Duty Modern Warfare and a Black Ops 2 hybrid, those 3 games, Modern Warfare 2, and a Black Ops 2 hybrid, if they put those 3 games together somehow with an arcade shooter, because at the moment, Call of Duty, once again, is not an arcade shooter. It's a great FPS. I think the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 beta, it's a great FPS, but it's not a traditional arcade shooter, which is what Call of Duty is.
All right, I'm going to devil's advocate here. You ready for this?
Go for it.
All right. So you've mentioned some of the greatest CODs, over recent memory.
Yep.
Could you, and I'm saying this because you actually have, some sort of knowledge, IT, UX, UI design. Do you think the list of features that you would extract from those great titles? So I'm going to say, tell me the 20 greatest thing about those titles that have to be in this merged super COD, right? Do you think that the list that you made would have significant overlap with the list that other people would make? Because my point that I want to come to is that we all go, great, we really loved, COD Blops 2 or whatever, and that was the thing. But I think sometimes is that different people go to that title and they say it was good for completely different reasons.
Yeah.
And so someone will go, no, we all agree that, Black Ops 2 or Modern Warfare or whatever is the greatest game of all time. But it almost feels like sometimes that we all agree for different reasons and we don't acknowledge that.
Yep.
And so when there's some product manager or some game concept designer or something will come along and go, this is what I liked about it. And 28% of the COD fans agree, but 40% don't. But of those 40%, 26% believe it's because of this feature and 14% believe it's that feature. And it's almost like it's impossible. I don't know. It's like, how do you get a comprehensive, accurate survey of why a COD is good to the entire fan base? Like, how do you do it? Like, how do you make that super COD in a way that everyone agrees that this is the reason it's the super COD?
Totally understand. And to address it, it would be starting off by looking at Call of Duty Mobile. Call of Duty Mobile is one of the most successful Call of Duty titles. I think it actually is the most successful. It has pretty much everything in it.
Shout out to my COD Mobile boys, the most unrespected, neglected, never got an opportunity to go international ever, have won everything they have ever played in when they've been drip fed the barest sniff of an opportunity inside of Australia. But once again, they have been utterly dogged from international opportunities. And I'm anyway,
shaking the fish. Get the pitchforks out. Get the flames out. I love that. When it comes to the college, it's like politics, right?
Yeah.
You're never gonna, and even streaming, I guess. Well, you've got one side that's agreeing with one, and then you've got another side hating it. You're always going to have that, and you're never going to be everyone's cup of tea. I get that, but if you can hit the majority market and do these things that would like that, you'd have a cross pollination of a demographic. So you'd have demographics of young kids, men, adults, and women, because it's 18 plus this game. So you'd have starting at 18, and you'd probably go the average gamer age is about 35, I'm pretty sure. So
that is a very correct, but also relatively misunderstood fact.
Yeah, I know, because a lot of people that are 35 plus play the game. It's crazy. It's nuts. It's nuts.
I'm dragging the average up. Okay, let's just go with that.
You're not that old, bro. Pipe down.
Look, I'm a lot older than the average, that's for certain.
Yeah, well, you finished high school, and if you're saying 20-year reunion, that was 2002. That was a year after 9/11.
Remember, this chat is 5 years old, so go back further 5 years.
Oh, okay, so 1995, 96. Sorry,
yeah, around
96 when I popped out.
Plus or minus a year, okay? Let's go with that. I could neither confirm nor deny my early Jurassic status.
Okay, there we go. I reckon. I don't want to guess your age because I don't want to be offend you.
Fine.
But anyway, to answer your question about that, you'd have to look at all the things that the feedback that people have said. You have to look at, and it takes a lot of time, but they've got a lot of resources to be able to do that. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. Before Warzone came out, the company was worth like 19 billion, and I looked at it within a year's time, it was worth about $48 billion. So they doubled. So there was a 200% increase, which is incredible. So the thing by them is that they're driven by numbers and shareholders, and that's what shareholders have the final say. They pay for it. They pay people's wages, and they kind of. We
don't want to get into a meta-philosophical discussion about capitalism in the middle of this. That's the wrong topic. That's the thing. But shareholder-driven decision-making is why we're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, anyway, continue with what you're saying.
Absolutely. But you'd pretty much have to do a survey. You'd have to do a survey. You do see on Twitter, the Twitter community is not the majority. I've come to understand. So us on Twitter, we're all pretty much in agreement. Like 90% of people agree with majority of things that are said with feedback and nice feedback, not this game's dog shit, fucking fix it. It's like, well, thanks, but how do we fix it? Like, it's not really helping me.
Yeah. Like, guys, I want to be very clear. If you're in the audience and you're like, game shit, fix it, like, just don't reply, man. Like, seriously.
Fucking shit, uninstall.
Yeah, go touch some grass, man. Like, seriously. Anyway.
If you can look at Twitter and you can see what they're saying there, and then you can kind of get some average users that are on the platform, you'd be like, great. But looking at some of the challenges I saw from data miners, that how to get gold camos and how to get when you get all gold guns, you get like the ultimate camo, the master camo. But let's look at that. So there's you have to get 100 headshots, you have to get 100 kills without attachments, you have to get 100 crouch kills, you have to get 100 mount kills. If you do that over all the guns, you have to get like 10,000 kills doing all these stupid things. And I can guarantee you that none of the developers that actually developed the game would have ever achieved that because of how ridiculous those challenges are. Like, it's not fun.
It's the concept of making content through grind. Yep. It's like, oh, you need to have 1,000 hours or 100 hours on a game for people to feel like they've got their $90 worth or whatever it is. Yep. And a lazy game design, and I will say the word lazy. Lazy game design is, you just make it so they have to get 10,000 of them. That'll take a long time. It's like, no one is having fun.
No.
Okay, we stopped having fun 8,000 kills ago. You know, like, what you want to have is the game is fun. I'm just playing in the normal queues and the normal lobbies, and I'm just going for it. And then I notice that I've got like the first 2 achievements in this particular thing because I'm playing a particular style. Maybe I really like sniping, so I'm sitting there sniping the shit out of things. And I've got like, wow, I've got a couple hundred snipe kills in like the opening week. And then I can see that I get a special achievement for 1,000 kills. Okay. On the sniper. Now that's a pretty long ask still, right? Like, I'm potentially gonna have to play for another couple of months. But if you're really invested in the sniper and you're enjoying the sniper, and in a sense you have accidentally unlocked the first couple of pathways for these achievements or whatever else because you were just having fun and playing the game like you wanted to play it, then you've got buy-in from the player. If you know what, I want to become the first guy who gets 1,000 kills, and I'm going to grind the shit out of this because one, I like the sniping aspect, like the sniping mechanic. It's this COD, they've really landed it. I'm being a specific example here, and it's all hypothetical, of course, but that's how you do it. You make the game fun to use. You make the discovery of the mechanics very organic and very easy to be able to be engaged with. And then you incentivize for those 1% achievement hunters who will do the absurd achievements in absurd timeframes. And then suddenly it's like, wow, you did something actually good. And there's like kudos and actual respect for, wow, you grounded 1,000 kills in like a month. You must have played like 14 hours of content a day. You utter madman. And now we're like part of the community, and you have those stories, and the guy who did X, or, you know, the guy who grinds to the highest rank using only pistols because he's an utter mad, cunt for all he's trying to do. So like, that's what COD should be. It should be organic from the community, and it should make sense, and it tells its own stories in its own spaces. And your game shouldn't try to force that with, I got 10,000 kills. And it's like, we actually pity you.
Yeah.
It's like,
I get it,
why?
man. It's crazy.
Like, why? Yeah.
Like, the old challenges used to be, I think it was 250 headshots for each gun, and then you get in. So you're deliberately aiming to try to become a better player, because aiming for the head, you get the kill faster. And then they introduced, no attachments, 250 kills. That's great. That was fun to do. It's a bit of a challenge. Then they introduced, what was the other one? Then they introduced having all attachments on. Then they also introduced, which you get, it's like what you're saying to your point, You just unlock that. You get that because you end up having a gun with all the attachments. Why not? And you have to do a challenge with a specific attachment on there or a specific attachment not on there and other attachments on. And you just
what
do
those
it.
things should do
It's
potentially is I'm enjoying the game. The game designer wants you to take your brain out of your head. He wants to rotate it 15 degrees. He wants to put the brain back in. He goes, have you thought about the game slightly differently? Like there was an aspect of the core game design and we wanted you to think just slightly differently. And for those people who are achievement hunting or trying to do these sort of things, it's like, oh, wow, I've just discovered something new about the game that was clever and interesting. And the achievement guided me there just a little bit. And that's good game design, you know, because what you're doing there is it's not mandatory. It's not hard. It is for those who want to explore, there is a reward. And that's a better approach.
Absolutely. And it's fun. But now when you have these new achievements, which is, you know, your 200 kills of regular kills with no attachments, 200 kills with attachments, 200 kills in general, or 500 kills in general with the gun, fine. But then you have things that X amount of kills with whilst the gun is mounted, so that promotes sedentary behavior in the game. Then you have 200 kills of 100 meters. You know what I mean?
What are all the variations? You know, we're just doing variations for the sake of it.
Yeah, they sit there and aim down a lane on map, which is 3-lane maps. And they just sit there the whole game and just shooting. How boring is that? You're not even moving around the map. It's boring.
It's not COD. So like, if I wanted to sit there and post up on a line and do things, I could go play some CSGO, right? Like, you know, like the CSGO is all about holding them lines. COD is not about holding lines, okay? Yeah. And a lot of good COD map design, and you'll see this when the pros play, is that they will shift, that they will hold a line, you know, have the cursor and, you know, have the crosshair exactly there. But he knows, all right, it has been 4 seconds since my teammate called out there was a player in, you know, kitchen, lobby, whatever it is. And if you're a good player, hey kids, listen to this, you should have like an expanding artificial mini map of unknown. Where could he be? And it's getting further and further and further. And a good player will go, there is now a pretty decent chance that he's behind me, or he's coming down that sideline, or I'm about to get flanked, or any sort of aspect of that. And so you'll see a good player, he'll switch because you'll see it like there's a chance there. And again, if you look at this, the more likely the probability of him being flanked, circled upon, being hit from the rear, the more quickly they'll switch around. And then you get those glorious timings that you'll see on stream where it's like, he's watching this angle, he's watching that angle, he's watching this angle, he's watching that angle. And just as he switches away, the other guy tells him around the corner. It's like, you just got timed, my man. But that's the game, you know, and that's what it should be. We're not here to post a lane. Anyway, sorry for the digression, but you're correct. Please don't post lanes. Play some actual COD.
Absolutely. But that's the issue. The game's pushing you to do that with loud footsteps and Ninja and UAVs don't really work, and then Ghost only activates 5 minutes into the game, so you could have someone spamming UAVs in domination and your squad spawning and you're trapped and you just keep getting absolutely destroyed in the spawn because you've got no ghosts, because the perk activates within 5 minutes because of the new system. It's
like no one's having fun. Like, it's okay. Sometimes you get a domination. Sometimes one side of the lobby is better than the other, and spawn camping's happening on, and that's going to happen. But in a reasonable
skill-based matchmaking.
I won't buy into that one. Okay?
That one.
But there should be a point where in a independent ITIL game state, you should be able to turn the tables. Okay, there should be an opportunity, not forced catch-up mode, not artificial catch-up mechanics, but you should not literally be locked in a box and killed on repeat. You know, no one's having fun in that aspect. No. There should be some aspect of the game that says, all right, I got absolutely camped, but while I was doing there and I was trying to get out, I learnt 3 tricks. I found how to use this perk properly. I found out how to do this properly, found a new way to get around on a ledge or whatever else, found a new thing to vault up on top of, and I learned. And the next lobby that I went into, I now have more game knowledge. I am a slightly better game person. Repeat that by 1,000 games, and you get people who are genuinely, if the game is good enough, being guided by the game to be better at the game. And again, this is what game design is. Not easy, people. Everyone, like, it's interesting at the moment because there are some, as you may be aware, prominent influencer, celebrity, you know, online people about to release their own game.
Yes,
you know what I'm talking about. Yep. And some early beta plays and people have been invited to come into the studio and you know, play some early versions of the game. And I think it's incredibly fascinating because these are people who have had very open opinions about the game they play. And I think Fortnite, whatever else, whatever they play, that point of view. And now it's going to be like, to me, this is just to me, maybe it's just me. It is going to be exquisitely fascinating to watch how they react to people's views of their game.
It's
and
going to be, hey.
It's going to juxtapose. Like, I want to bring up a Fortnite. I hate this Fortnite update because they've screwed up this. And then I want to bring up
COD shit.
Yeah, everything. And then I want to bring up
shit.
People commenting on their game, and I want to play them one in each year. Just see, like, it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be any. Like, I don't think the game's going to be bad. I don't know if the game's going to be good, but it's going to be interesting on the nature of people understanding how hard it is to make a game, and then interact with a very vocal community that has opinions about your game.
Yes,
and that's going to be a very interesting period of time, because it's going to happen pretty soon. When's the release for these? In the next year or so?
Next year or so. I think that it'll be panic stations to start with, but
it always will be.
Yeah, given the history though of their history in the industry, they understand how games are put together as well. So the product management is going to be interesting to see how they manage their product owners within the company, and how they delegate properly and make sure they use their resources properly to manage the community feedback as well. I think they're doing pretty good. I reckon.
Look, looking at a lot of the beta testing and bringing people in to play the game is exactly what you and I were just both talking about, which is people who were more of the community making a COD, right? Well, this is people who are of the community, bringing the community in, making their game. And look, all power to them. I hope it's an astounding success that they bootstrap a whole franchise and become the next, Uber franchise for everything. That would be great. I'm absolutely here for Australian personalities and Australian studios and Australian efforts, like, doing really good things. So I'm like in their corner batting for them. But it's still going to be a very interesting concept of very online personalities launching a commercial game product at a fairly large scale. So very here for it. And I shall, I don't know, pour myself a whiskey and enjoy all of the hot takes in all of the directions.
I wonder what the budget is for those guys. Like, for them, I guess, the main one, he makes a fair bit of money himself to be able to fund this whole AAA project. So, but there'd be more investors and all that type of stuff. But look, man, I'm gonna shuffle us on from this topic.
We have we done like 14 digressions off our original topic?
Mate, we've done 42 minutes of just flow, harmonious flow, and I love it. Good. But I do want to touch base. Have you seen that chess guy, Magnus guy?
Neiman versus Carlsen, right? This is what we're talking about?
Yeah, and he had like the anal beads that vibrated and shit. Dude, how does that work? Look, like, is it like 3 for king, 2 for queen, like I want to 1 be for pawn? How does that work?
Very clear here. There is no actual anal beads that have been discovered.
Okay.
No. It has been hinted, it has been suggested that there may be anal beads, because someone came along and said, how do you even cheat at over the board? And this is the term you see, OTB, actually over the board chess. So IRL chess for all of our, translate these to our audience. So the question is, if you're sitting there in front of the guy, like you're sitting there, like directly across each other over a chessboard, how do you cheat? It's not like you call out the phone and go, hey, what move? Like, can I tell, if someone's like shooting laser beams at your eyes, like someone's going to see that from that point of view. If someone's at the back of the audience holding up a sign going, rook to king 3, someone's going to spot that. So, so people have come up with these wild fantasies on like, how is he doing it? And it's like, and again, Neiman didn't exactly help himself when he said, I'll play chess naked to prove I'm not cheating. Yep. So, of course, the wild fantasies go, so what, how could he cheat naked? So, of course, what we're getting to is anal beats, because that is the logical conclusion.
You can still hide that. You got to play like bending over so people can see it. Do the cough test. The prisoners.
Are you trying to tell me that we need goatsy? Are we taking a goatsy reference here? Because I may need to, pull the ripcord on this if there we go. But yeah, so the concept is like, honestly, I don't know, Morse code. Like if your anus vibrated to Morse code, that seems like a reasonably easy way to communicate.
I feel like you'd be shuffling around on your seat a fair bit. You'd be getting.
Look, I can't confirm. Like, I honestly don't know. But I would imagine that if your prostate
he must have been shuffling.
Intestine,
he must have been shuffling for people to think that.
Well, what I'm trying to work out is how do you not look if you're getting that sort of stimulation. I don't know if I want to say this word. Like if you're getting that sort of stimulation, forget about the pleasurable aspects of it. At some point, you're gonna like need to crap.
Yeah.
like I'm just at a point of like, if you're doing this and yet the muscles are working, okay, because they're getting stimulation and whatever else. Again, not a lot of experience with anal stimulation. Okay, I'm going to put this out there. Look,
what's this podcast into?
Let's U-turn and go back. Like, I just don't see how this works. I honestly don't know how it works.
There was there's a friend of mine that used to do broadcasting. I don't know if he still does or not, but he was actually one of the people that helped me come up with the character that I play right now. But he was telling me that when he was a broadcaster for Japanese and Chinese table tennis and ping pong championships,
which is a very, very serious thing in China.
Yeah,
like I say, like they are national pride level.
Yeah,
like same way Australians
like
would go to swimming.
AFL.
Yeah, Australians with swimming, Chinese with table tennis. Absolutely.
Yep. And so there would be people in the crowd with toe tappers in their shoes because they would be able to tell before the betters and the live stream is sent to the broadcast and before the bookies close their books of how things are looking and the scores and stuff. So they do quick taps with their toes on the ground, their feet, and that's how they do it. They'd click it out in Morse code out to someone off-site, and that's how they would win. Like, how are these the way people cheat nowadays? How the fuck do they come up with that shit? It's incredible. It really, you got to give it to them. Like, arseholes for cheating. I hate hackers in Warzone and cheats everywhere. Yes. But
and that was a whole thing on YouTube. But like, we're in the beta. The game's been out 2 days. People are already wall hacking.
Oh, really?
Like
I never saw that, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, like slightly impressed, but also get a fucking life. But anyway,
that Nadia chick's super sus.
Nadia, sorry,
have you heard of that Nadia girl on the COD streamer? She's like super sus, man. Call of Duty invited, so she's like the world's best Warzone player, right? And she's pretty cracked.
Literally just got. People have been making accusations like just in the last week or so, right?
Doug Sense is on her case now. As well. And the thing about it is that they invited her out to the COD event, COD Next, because COD knew what they were doing. They invited her out, and she was actually dog shit.
See, that's the thing.
And then she goes home, and she's good again. Yeah, well, it's weird, hey? She was shooting teammates, bro. She was shooting teammates at the LAN because she thought they were enemies.
So obviously missing the very look. I won't go into that, but we could make an assumption. I always try to be very
devil's advocate. Yeah.
I try to be very tolerant of cheating accusations because there's a lot of salty players where it's like, there's no way that kid is good. He must be cheating. It's such a meme from that. And like, I've had a MINDFREAK player last year absolutely accused of cheating by his peers, and it was a very significant drama. And it was
this Warzone or is this multiplayer?
This was COD. This was actually in the one prior to Vanguard. My brain's just lost.
Cold Snore.
Cold Snore, Cold something.
Cold Snore. It's a fucking snooze fest.
It was in the final Australian champs event for Cold War.
Yep.
And that there's absolutely accused as MINDFREAK player. Now, I went to the point of inspecting his PC myself. We're going to have him play at the office. I even had very big people in the community review his VODs, review his play, and the whole thing is that there was nothing conclusive. And we found nothing. There was never any evidence and all the rest, but some people would never give it up at all. And to this day, people still just assume that he was cheating. But he played under the eyes of an admin, streaming his point of view, streaming his fingers on the keyboard to an admin, and we still placed third. Okay, like not like we completely shut the bed, and he was like second fragging, in the team, which means he behaved in the exact same way as when he didn't have people looking over his shoulders. And to me, that's as much as I'm going. I put my brand behind him. I put my reputation behind him. I said, look, he's not cheating. Okay, look, I have put a non-trivial amount of hours into this. He's not cheating. But then you look around and you see those hilarious Twitch streamer fails where the cheating overlay accidentally gets on stream and then they try to go offline and delete the VOD and whatever else, and you're like, how the fuck busted, It's like,
you're there for those things. Again, it's a very prominent thing. There are people who, for some reason, feel that cheating is the way they want to play the game. I hate it. It just undermines so much. And during the COVID years, it just cast a stain over everything because everything was online and it really sucked. But it's really good now that we're back at LAN. You know, like it is just, it's good because you can do these things like, hey, I flew out to COD Next and I couldn't even stop shooting my own teammates. And it's a really, really big red alert, you know? So,
yeah, I think they knew what they were doing, bro. They knew. With what's going on. But yeah, I really wish that the hardware ban would work better and stuff, you know, ban their GPU so they have to buy another GPU. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not even the GPU, just simply the CPU. Like, because you can swap a graphics card often easier and you can do that. But it's very... Here's my thing. I go back. Okay, yes, you can do a hardware ban. Look, for these sort of people, if they're making enough money, $2,000 for a new PC, $3,000 for a new high-end PC or whatever is not going to particularly phase them. What we essentially need to do, and it is an impossible task, is to have the anti-cheat actually not suck.
Yeah.
And like I've had this discussion in Halo right now, where even though they won't admit it, it is pretty certain that Halo launched with no anti-cheat at all. Even like they talked about the anti-cheat, but there was no anti-cheat. And we had a player that, not my team, I was just aware of it. I was very, very aware where Halo was. And there was a player who was banned. He was straight up banned for cheating. But the evidence was his peers accused him and someone looked at the video. And I went, that's crap.
Yeah.
You know, like ban the guy because you know, like you've got clear evidence that he's cheating. And like we went into it to a fairly deep level and they said, oh, no, we've got server-side logs. And I'm going, but you banned him 3 days before you came back and said, oh, yeah, we looked at the logs and well, we didn't have anything conclusive. It was suggestive. And I'm going, you just fucked up this kid's hopes and dreams. You know, like that's pretty shit. Way of doing it. But if you actually put the effort in, but again, we go back to that game development cycle, they're struggling to get out a good COD. Can you imagine getting out a good COD with an anti-cheat that works? Like it's just another bar higher. And they're not clearing the first bar. It's like, oh yeah, you haven't cleared 1.5 meters in the high jump. We're going to make it 2 meters now. Now you have to clear that. It's just like, oh, no, you're face planting that bar, man.
If you're out there and you want to make a fuck ton of money, come up with an anti-cheat because if whoever does that, it's going to be sold for millions of dollars.
It's so engine specific though.
Yeah,
and they keep doing shit like, oh, we've got the latest ray tracing from NVIDIA, so we have to fuck with our engine. And because we fucked with our engine, all of the game pipelines and the art pipelines and all of the story pipelines get fucked with. So now we spend 12 months updating our engine and all of our assets for the new 8K NVIDIA resolution ray trace bullshit. And that just ate up 90% of the development time. Like, our game has to have amazing artificial light bloom in ray tracing for it to be considered cutting edge. It's like, can we not? Like, here's a concept for you. Would you play a Minecraft looking COD if I can guarantee that all of the mechanics, the audio, and the game feel was mint? Would you play that game?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
You would?
Yeah, I would. Because we've come from that. Right now we're snobby. So we've come from, the Nintendo days back in the early 2000s, and that's how graphics weren't that good back then.
GoldenEye. Come on, my man. GoldenEye level
Absolutely.
graphics. That's where you're going to be.
And we've come from there, and now we've become super snobby. Most of us have gone from console to PC, and now we're like, oh, I can't play on that peasant 60 hertz. I have to play on 240. Oh.
Do you want a confession? Okay.
You're like that?
I only moved off of 60 hertz 12 months ago.
Okay. I'm very similar. I'm very similar.
Look, I do like it now. Like I have some very nice monitors, and the 165 hertz, but look, I don't know if I can see this.
I'm only on 140 on the
Have I unplugged my camera?
You've unplugged the camera. You've unplugged it.
I've actually screwed it. Hold it. Let me switch device. Sorry, I'm messing up your podcast. Let me see if I can get the camera back.
You are. Don't even worry about it.
Okay. Hold it. I need to do. Do I need to do start video again? I've broken it. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
So I'm here for voice. Here we go. Turn on camera.
There we go. With the camera.
Is it working?
Yes, that's working. There it is.
All right, anyway, so I have a 4 monitor setup, in case you're wondering. Like, that's my thing because I do a lot of work.
For people watching on YouTube, if people listening right now, make sure to tune into the stream right now, okay? Into the YouTube video at youtube.com/Jacko GFreak to see Michael's setup, okay? It's impressive.
Oh, sorry, my desk is a mess. But I really have 4 monitors because I'm a multitasker. You know, I've got, esports here, email over there, working things.
Got it all happening.
Got it all happening. So my poor graphics card is currently trying to do 165 hertz.
Your mic's not as good, though, I've noticed.
I'm just using this thing, so...
It's changed, though. It doesn't sound as good as it did before. Yeah.
Oh,
I think you're using your webcam audio now.
Oh, has that cut over? Please tell me it has not cut over.
Yeah, change to the webcam audio.
Oh, god damn it.
That one?
There we go. That's it.
Better?
That's perfect.
Sorry. That's
way
what
better.
When you unplug your webcam in the middle of
don't unplug your webcam, ladies and gentlemen. That can stay in. That's staying in. I can't be fuck editing that out.
I'm sorry. Look, I will wear that mark of shame. That was me trying to be too immersive. But anyway, so my poor graphics card is doing what? Because I'm running 1440p, again, screen real estate, by 4. All of them are 165 hertz. My graphics card actually crashes about every second day, and I'm not even mad because of what I demand off the damn thing. So anyway, we have fun. We like our things, but I'm building a new rig.
There we go.
Next month.
What
so
GPU do you have?
I
Currently.
Thankfully, what I have now is an AMD one.
Yep.
And it's okay. As I said, I expect a lot of it, and it's done okay. But I've had and look, this is one of those unfortunate facts because I'm here for the underdog to challenge the thing. It's my whole esports ethos.
You know why it crashes? Because it's AMD. My friend has an AMD set up, and his crashes every second day as well in Tarkov when he goes to the hideout. It's dead set.
And 100% the reason for that, and it's an unfortunate reality, is that NVIDIA makes it easier for game developers. They have better libraries, they give money, they give more development kits. It's easier to program a game for NVIDIA because NVIDIA puts more resources into developers. So that means when a game comes out, it'll support AMD, it'll support those sort of things, and it'll work, but it'll be optimized for NVIDIA. And that's kind of shit because NVIDIA is just using, we have more money, we're going to make it easier to program on our
It's hardware. A monopoly. That's what it is.
Yep. So I'm in the AMD world at the moment, and it's okay, but I am very much feeling that the software I use hasn't been as optimized for that. And I know this in production as well. Like, I don't know what you use for a lot of your streaming stuff, but if you use a thing called vMix and potentially even some stuff with OBS, NVIDIA provides better libraries and better drivers and better everything for streamers and for production software. And again, it's just like vMix is made by an Australian company. Like, if you don't know what vMix is, it's like big boy OBS for your streamers. But they're an Australian company and they have a small developer team. So they have X amount of time to work on things, and NVIDIA makes it easier. So their stuff works really well on NVIDIA and it works okay on AMD. So what do? That means every damn production machine that's being used with vMix has an NVIDIA card. And that's what you get when you have more money and you can make things. Anyway, we've gotten way off in track again. So where were we? What were we talking about, man? I've lost it.
From anal beads to fucking toe tappings to, mate, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Let's get into esports.
Okay,
I was just going to say...
I'm going to roll back.
Okay, go back.
Do you think Neiman's cheating? That's all I want to know. Yes or no?
Neiman? Who the fuck's Neiman?
The guy that Carlson's accusing of cheating. The anal bead guy.
I don't know who that is. Oh, the anal bead guy. Oh.
Do you know his name? Oh,
no.
Come on.
I just know Magnus, bruh. Fucking Grandmaster Flash.
Also, to do a deep cut on our own meta references in our own current podcast episode, he's a very famous YouTuber that you don't know. So we'll go with that, you know.
There we go. Is he cheating?
Literally, if the GOAT of your entire competitive scene accuses you of cheating, that's some serious weight.
There's some weight, and he knows that because that's career ending for the other guy. He has that because he lost to him, and then is he being a sore loser? You know what I mean? Is he being a sore loser?
But he's got no history of being a sore loser, and he has lost to people before.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I really don't know. It is. I don't know too much about it. I just know the funny media shit about the anal beads and all that type of stuff. I haven't read into it too much.
Look, I've kept across it because I am generally a reasonably big fan of competitive events.
You're into anal beads. Okay, fair enough.
That's a really weird interpretation of that sentence, but I'm going to leave that alone. You know, that's
you're into the chess. I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So it's esports.
Esports.
Apparently,
I was gonna jump into what's it like being the CEO once you acquired MindFreak, man. You know, you had Albert, you had Brad, now yourself. Whew.
Okay. So to go to a really quick sort of history. So
Go for it.
I was previously involved with Legacy Esports. Okay. Very big in League of Legends.
I see you, Carbon.
Go Timmy boy. We do like our Timmy. And the motherfucker is wearing his fucking VB t-shirt
Yeah, I
at
saw
Worlds right
that.
now. And I'm like, God damn it, Tim. Like, can you not be this much of a Victorian meme?
Yeah.
Anyway, put that aside. Fuck you, Tim. So involved with Legacy Esports, had a lot of fun with that. The fundamental thing with Legacy Esports is that I was essentially a steward. I never owned Legacy. I ran it. I made a lot of decisions, did a lot of commercial stuff with it. We diversified to teams, but I never owned it. So never was really the man fully in charge. When Adelaide Crows took over, I was an advisor to the board. Again, not in charge. When Adelaide Crows screwed the pooch because of COVID, couldn't do anything about it, not in charge. You know, but I've been involved, and like I've had power of life and death over teams. I've recruited people, I've talked to sponsors, I've put money in places. So I've done, in a sense, being in charge without being in charge. What it means for me in MindFreak is I'm in charge. Like my name's on the door. Like I own the org from that point of view. So I get to do all the things that I've been doing in 7 years in the esports industry, which is definitely dog years, I'm going to tell you. But it's exciting. And the interesting thing about something like MindFreak is that there's a real trust. Like this isn't something new that I pulled out of my backside. It's not a brand that I've invented and nothing. This is a brand that has real history. It has real weight. It has achievements. It has storylines. It has people that are passionate about the brand. And that's a real obligation. But for me, it's amazing. Like I love it. Like if at a point of view of like one of the things I knew that when I was taking on MindFreak is that we would always have a COD team. Doesn't matter if I like COD or don't like COD. But if I didn't like COD, it doesn't matter. I would have to have a COD team. I'm a motherfucking MindFreak, right? COD team is just like mandatory at this sort of point. And it's, you've got to pay due respect to that history. You have to actually do these sort of things that are honoring where things have come from. And for Albert and Riggs and Brad and all of the teams that have happened over all that last, like, again, been around since over 10 years. Like MindFreak is actually one of the oldest orgs in the country. And it's just really, really cool. One, to be trusted with it. Like I did a lot of stuff behind the scenes with Albert over many years that was never done thinking that I would one day own MindFreak.
Yeah.
It was do that. But what it built was a relationship and a trust and an understanding of competence. So Albert came to me, last year, and it's like, look, life has changed. I think it's at a point where I want to hand it over to someone with passion. I had left Legacy 6 months prior, so I was more or less unencumbered and sort of, sniffing around and looking at what would I do next. And Albert said, look, take MindFreak off me. And I'm like, but I don't want to get rid of you. So Albert is still there, like I'm never letting that boy escape. Like it's actually interesting watching, and I say this with all due love and respect, Albert, but tiny Albert. Did you see how motherfucking small that guy is when he competed? Like he's like this fucking big. So like seeing tiny Albert, like with trophies and winning and celebrating with his teammates and whatever else, and and knowing that he went from that and then became the face of the brand and grew it, and they've taken chips in a whole lot of titles. I had to keep Albert around, and he still is, and we still chat. There are two people that I'm on Facebook Messenger for: Albert and one of our sponsors. Oh, and apparently my weird high school reunion chat, but ignore that.
That's right.
So Albert's like, whenever I get a Facebook messenger, it's normally Albert. We're talking, and we're normally like, did you see the news? Did you do the X? How's that going? Blah 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 blah. Personal life, good and bad things. And it's just it's part of it. So now I'm the CEO, I'm the owner, I have to run it, I have all of this weight, I have all of this history, and I'm loving it. It's like, this is great. So it's still like I have to
there's a culture that we had to do. And when we looked at what is brand MindFreak, is it going to change? And the answer is not really, because I'm enough of a shit poster and a troublemaker, and I like to poke fun at Nick Babia, that like that's very on brand for MindFreak. MindFreak is in your, and again, you know where I'm going with this before you play it. If you ever get an opportunity to go to America, to go to a COD or a Halo major and be in what they call the passion pit, just do it. I don't care. I don't care what it costs money. I don't care if you're missing your grandma's funeral. I don't care if you're gonna lose your job. Don't care. Do it. There is no esports experience on the planet like being in the middle of the passion pit, in the middle of like 1,000 sweaty Americans, and you're there with your Australian team. And you've got like Halo's the most recent experience. Ninjestics is
the only. There's no more COD franchising.
The challenger scene, don't even go there. I'm still slightly triggered over Vanguard. But anyway, but Ninjestics, a Halo player, he's a good boy, whatever else. But one of the things he does is that when he's feeling it, he gets loud. And there's nothing. And you'll see some videos. Go run around on the MindFreak YouTube channel and all the rest. But you'll see our COD or our Halo teams. They will get up, they will put the controller down, and they will give an absolute spray to their opponent, which is like 3 meters away, just on the other side of the stage or on the other side of the setups. And it is just the most electrifying experience. It's like, you fucking burgers, what do you think? You think you can show me? You think you can get out of my fucking lobby? And it's like, and they're doing this to this American who's like 8 foot tall and about ready to crush the guy. And it's just like, and they're shouting back, and it's like, if they take a hill and the score flips around, they're shouting back, yeah, well, you get there, you get there. You really think you can take it? Like this backwards and forward of what like in real life COD or Halo really is in these passion pits. And I call them passion pits because of this interaction.
Yeah.
And I'm addicted to it. I don't know. It's like crack cocaine for my brain. It's like shove me in a passion pit, have me emotionally invested on one side of those setups, and then let's get loud, boys. Come on, get loud. I want to see you like disrespect some motherfucking Americans, And it's great. It's such a great experience. And the good thing about it is that you can get really heated in game, get really passionate in game, get really emotional in game. And then afterwards, it's like, you walk around, you shake hands, GG bro, great game, really impressed with you, yada, yada, yada. It's about absolutely in the lobby, on the field, on the map, on the server, like emotionally vent it. Like use those emotions to launch yourself to fucking orbit. We're here to win, absolutely that's what we're here for. And then when the game's over, and there is a real life human being on the other side that you're shaking hands with, you give them respect. They were an honorable opponent. They were someone that fought honorably, win or lose. We're all here at the moment to just test our competitive skill against each other. And I'm just like this is why I'm in MindFreak. This is 100% why I want to be the CEO of MindFreak, because I just want to have that experience on repeat over and over again. And we did it like starting to get domestic lands back. So we had the Fortress COD event. We had the absolute glory of DreamHack Halo. And again, it was just like, come on, boys, like get loud, like really do it. And I just want the absolute passion bleeding out of every pore of any player that puts on a MindFreak jersey. Like that's what our thing is there. We're not here to go, nice game, boys. And it's like, yes, that was a good kill. It was very nice the way that you chelled me there. I very much enjoyed the competitive experience that we just engaged in. It's like, no, you motherfucker, get in my face or I'm getting in your face. And one of us is going to be on the ground bleeding, like this is how this game is going to be played. And it's great. It's really, really what I'm here for. So, look, a lot of where my background came from, people thought I was a League of Legends guy because that was the primary title of Legacy Esports. And so they're sort of slightly surprised that I'm out here to talk some shit about some COD and some Halo. And it's like, because there is nothing like, and I say console shooters, and I don't want to say that like it's like console versus PC. And to be honest, we don't play on console, or they cross-play for a lot of things. Controller shooter? I don't know. How do you differentiate? Like, is there an official genre name that I've missed in my thing? Controller shooter is the best I could probably come up with.
Casual utensil shooter. I don't know. I don't know.
The one I always, again, just a digression, because digressions is the name of this podcast.
Pocket remote. I don't know.
Is the guy? Is it Rudism or the guy in New Zealand who makes controllers out of like bongo drums or something
Rudism,
stupid?
yeah.
It's like,
There's another guy that did the COD LAN at the with the recorder and shit at the new COD event. Like,
oh, I did see that. It was a
2
guy who
days
played
before,
a recorder.
Yeah, 2 days
Was it
before the
playing
event.
Warzone?
Yeah, 2 days before. Oh, he's in the arena as well, arena shooter. But he also did it in Warzone. But he hit the clip like a week out, and then someone tuned into his stream from Activision 2 days beforehand. They said, "Do you have a passport?" He said, "Yeah," and they said, "Okay, we'll be in touch with you and we'll fly you out. Pack your bags." 2 days before the event, so he was a last minute invite. But how cool is that?
That is
He bought his fucking recorder too. He could have easily just played controller, but he bought his recorder and got some kills. He got Crim6. He got other people as well. It's funny as I saw Taylor Morgan get Crim6 the other day, so he was having it.
But that's the thing. But that's what a lot of those these events are great. Like you have a Pro-Am or you have a community open or some sort of thing. Like what's the name? You remember the old Chiefs owner, Frank
Sangy.
Yeah, and he used to always go on that. I think the CS:GO team was playing some international team, and he jumped on a computer during warm up, and he got a one-shot deagle against some very famous player, and he still dines out on Twitter on that today. You know, remember that one time I one-deagged that famous CS:GO player? But again, that's what I like about esports is that there's no. Like there's the opportunity for anyone to show up if you're good enough.
Yeah.
And I want that. Like I will never be an alpine jump skier. Okay, there's just no way. I don't care how much I want to spend.
No one's going to be that. Fuck that.
Like I'm not doing that. But and there are certain things that have certain capabilities you can't do. But the thing I like about esports as an industry is that the barrier for entry should be. And there are cultural things sometimes that come in, but should be essentially zero. All right, can you afford the world's crappiest gaming PC? Then you're in the lobby. Like there are ways where you can be part of the story, where you can try your skill, where you can continue to grind and learn. And I love it. Absolutely love it. It's like,
even all genders as well. Girls can get involved. There's no physical differences when it comes to gaming and whatnot. It's great. It's unreal.
Yeah, look, our female CS:GO team managed to make DreamHack Dallas and DreamHack Valencia. So the 5 of them got to fly to Texas and got to fly to Spain.
Yeehaw.
Like, hell yes. And I'm great. I'm very proud that MINDFREAK got to enable that. Like we put that team together. We worked with the leader and the captain of that, and we challenged it, and we weren't the favorites, and we won. And then we invested further in them. We put them on a boot camp in like northern Dallas, like Plano. If you want to know where Plano is, I know where Plano is. So we're in like an internet cafe in
I've
Plano.
only heard of Plano. Not Plano.
Well, the only reason I was in Plano was apparently FaZe's Valorant team were using it as a boot camp. So we thought, okay, I guess it's okay. And it was the most rundown, unair-conditioned, computers cracked all the time LAN cafe. And FaZe had apparently booked out the good setups permanently, and we could never get near them. Anyway, but we went there early, and we boot camped in Plano, and then they won the North American qualifier, which is hilarious. So we went, we're going to enter the North American qualifier. And we asked the admins, can we enter? And they're like, I guess you can enter. And then we just won it. So we were the North American reps to go to Valencia. So we weren't the Australian reps to Valencia. We were the North American reps. And so there was this whole meme that we were like the second best North American team because TLG Red is very, very big in female CSGO. And they're very, very good. Yeah. But we were the second team, North American team, because we'd beaten all the other ones. Jesus. So anyway, but that's anyway, to get back on point, that's what I want MINDFREAK to do. I want MINDFREAK to enable opportunities for its players to have that chance, to make that run, to get into that bracket and to run as deep as he can in that bracket. And that was what was really good about Halo. We had like 3 teams, and 343 have been really good about having like 3 teams. Hey, Activision, 3 is a really good number for COD if you ever want to bring it back from the dead. But Halo 343 have been, doing good. There's been 3 teams to every Halo major, and it was really tragic that 2 of the Australian teams ran into each other in the lower bracket, which was just so knocked out Australian team. But that was like losers round 7.
Yep.
So we were like top 24 was what we were playing.
It's a grueling day, man. Whew.
Oh, and it's all in the passion pit. So it's like,
has an open team ever won an open a championship? Like,
I don't think they've won a championship. Most recent one, Oxygen,
actually made it to pool play at Worlds from the open bracket at Orlando.
I guess they are established, though. They are established.
Well, they're
Like
not
a no-name
franchise
org.
team. They're not a franchise team. If
Nah,
that makes sense.
nah, they're not. But they fight their way. Like they're an org. Like what happens if it was just
They're
yourself, me,
reasonably-
and two other shit kickers that want to play COD, and we,
It
you know
is
what I mean?
plausible.
It's plausible, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
has it
I
ever
think
happened?
Riley, we got knocked down into the lower bracket by a team called Sniping Lies, and they were good.
this is Halo.
They were very Halo, yeah. And they were very good. And so what ended up happening, because we were the Australian team going into Raleigh, there's this weird, because of pro points and whatever else, we were really highly seeded. But again, Australian team, American team, very first time an Australian team had actually played Halo International in since Halo 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like it's been a few
2019.
years. So it's been a few years. And so all the tweets are like, the number one seeded team. Yes, somehow we were the number one open bracket seeded team. Has been defeated by number 40. It's like, no. Sniping Lies were very, very good. And in early days of any competition, the seeding's all kind of whack anyway. But those boys went on, I think, to make T4. And I'm like, and they're nobodies. They're orgs, and good old esports team names and the memes that they are give me life. But it's just like there was no big org behind them. They were just passionate boys who were just very, very good. And they were names that people recognized from high-ranked lobbies. You know, these guys are good and whatever else. They hadn't been picked up, but they were trying to make that run. And they got pretty close. They made pretty high-ranked on those setup. There was a couple of teams that were org that also made T8. But they were semi-branded teams. I would say of the level of like a university squad or whatever else. Like they weren't a big org.
Actually,
so I would have said that. Go on.
I do have. So a couple of weeks ago, I had Walty on. Have you heard of Walty? Apex Legends player. He's a big boy. He's
ringing
a
a
tank.
bell.
I had him on my podcast. Now he's signed to Team Moist. But before that, they went over to America and played in the ALGS, and they placed really fucking well. Like easy top.
Burger?
Yeah, Team Burger. Yeah,
I know Burger. I know Burger very well.
There we go.
Yes.
And so
WXLTZY.
Yeah. And so we got into all that about how, if it wasn't for that one fan chanting burger and stuff, and then, more people joined in, more people, and it ended up being like a packed arena, 14 burger. If it wasn't for that, then he wouldn't be where he is. And but they weren't an org.
I will say this. MINDFREAK did chat with Team Burger earlier this year, but it just was a very bad timing thing. I would have loved to have picked those boys up. Big fan of what Apex Legends doing. Big fan of what the local broadcast Apex Legends. Burger was a team that could have been under the MINDFREAK banner if I had have had an extra 2 months in the year. It was essentially what it came down to.
An extra 120 grand.
No, look, there was a discussion around it because a lot of what MINDFREAK will do is that I don't know if this is known, and I'm absolutely we don't contract lock our players and we don't put buyouts. If you are an international team and you are going to provide an international opportunity for an Australian player, I have a 0 buyout clause. Take my player. And this has just happened. The captain of my CSGO team that took us to 2 international events has just been taken by CLG Red. I negotiated her contract to leave me. It's like, because that's what I want. That's what I want MINDFREAK to be. I want MINDFREAK to be about Australian players on really big ass stages.
Yep.
And so
I have a buyout as a content creator. You know what it is?
Does it involve alcohol? That's the question.
No, I actually do have a buyout. It's pretty funny.
Actually,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as a content creator.
All right, go on. Hit me.
It's $1.
That's what we call a peppercorn.
How good is that? That's what that goes. It's a gold coin to Nick's pocket.
Well, it's the concept that a buyout should be honoured.
That's right.
And I don't mind that from a contract point of view.
Yeah.
But the $1 is we're not going to be dicks about it. And Nick is normally pretty good around that.
It's funny. It's a chubba chub, mate. It's a chubba chub.
Absolutely. So anyway, so if we had picked up Burger, it wouldn't have been because we wanted to be their forever home. It would have been, we would have filmed content, we would have done player profiles, we would have got merch out, and then if they get poached and go on to other things, that's a successful MINDFREAK investment. And absolutely there for that. Anyway, it didn't happen. I know that one of my content guys was super disappointed because he was really keen to pick up Burger as an Apex Legends team. But it was just one of those misconnections type things.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But yeah, they proved well, being a no-name org and just going over there. He did say that he was on Fury when Apex Legends first came out with Jen Burton. So that was a big fuck up by them, because he did say they were saying that if you help fund us, I'm telling you, like Walsey and him and Jen Burton and Fury were saying, like, if you help us, like, we know that Jen Burton is easily the best controller player out there. Like, you need to grab this by the balls and just go for it. And they never went with the opportunity. But I understand financials money talks. I get it. I totally get it.
And the investment they've got from their Japanese, right? I think based org for Jen Burton and Co.
Dark Zero. Yeah. I thought you were talking about Fury.
No. For Dark Zero, like that has allowed them to really flourish.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Great.
So that is good. But you do get those. Wow, he's really good players. Like again in Halo, Barcode.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have had him on MindFreak.
$1, mate. $1.
He's a bit more than $1.
Actually, sorry, he was 99 cents. Okay, the GFreak's higher than him.
No. But again, and he's now on G2.
Yeah.
You know, Nick's had to give him up.
Worst kept secret ever.
Look, that visa took a goddamn large amount of time to come in. So, like, wasn't the boy trapped in Bangkok for a good solid month waiting for the American embassy to give him his visa or some crap? Like, he'd been through some shit.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I did have him on the podcast way before that was even in talks. It was at the start of the Halo season, like midway through it, and they'd already won like 10 championships.
Look, the team with Barcode just won. Like, he's that good.
Well, I had Madsy on last time. I had Madsy on. Madsy was last episode.
Okay.
And we chatted about how it feels to, you know, how, like with Barcode, and I said that, you know, with Barcode, you go into every game knowing you're going to win. Like, how is it now feeling that you're not as confident? How is the team coping? And Madsy's a very confident gentleman. So he gave me a Madsy answer, which is, no, it was easy, bro. And I said, well, fuck Barcode anyway. Piss him off. We didn't like him.
All right. I've got a dynamic. I want to, you know, choosing sides. I've got an A-B choice for you, okay?
Right.
The top team for Australian Halo that goes to the major gets placed into pool play, where they play the franchise teams, right? The partner teams, the teams like G2 and whatever else.
Yeah.
And I would say that every first place team, which has essentially always been Chiefs, has had a pretty miserable experience. I think their win rate was like 11% in maps and 0% in series, because you're playing professional players with the full weight of, you know, $10 million orgs behind them. So Chiefs, under different rosters, has gone into pool play and gotten shat on repeat every Halo major. Whereas the next two teams, because they send 3 teams across, have to run the open bracket. And for the most part, they, you know, will get 3 to 5 to 6 to 7 wins or whatever else. And then, you know, get a run of it. You get a feel. And
reps.
It means, you know, you get actually an idea of where you're at and how you're playing, and it's concept. So it basically tells me that Australian Halo is more or less top 32 in America.
Yep.
Which is not shabby given the isolation and the lack of prac that we sort of get. Would you want to play against the best teams and get shat on regularly, or would you like to play against the second best teams and get to be able to make a fist of it?
I would say B. The reason why, and I say it very fast because I've had this decision before previously, but you're not learning when you're getting thumped all the time. You don't learn from thumps. You're learning more from when you're getting wins, closer games, which is what I like about the removal of Barcode, because the boys have had to step it up and change the team around and all that type of stuff. So it challenges them and makes, like we were saying, you know, as a developer, you pull the brain out and you move it just a little bit on that different trajectory, and you make him think a little bit more on and reassess the situation. And it makes, but also it gives them confidence as well. Going over there all the time, and I don't want to say it, they're just getting smashed every time, but they kind of are. But it's really hard for them mentally. Like mentally right now, whilst they may never admit it, it would be very hard for them to go over there and then jump into 2 HCSs overseas and be like, holy fuck, we have to verse Optic because we're in the same group as the championship team. But at the same time, whenever you play Optic and teams like that, it can also, being the dark horse, you can also play to your advantage. You're always playing your best and whatnot.
So,
But it's hard
I'll give
to learn.
you. This was the tweet that prompted the question, and I pasted that into chat for you.
Okay.
But you have a look at.
I can't see
that
the chat.
sort of-
I don't want to change up my screens because of my
Or how do I
podcasting.
show
Sorry.
this?
Hang on.
How do I show this to you?
You sent it to me on Discord? I'll look it up now.
did.
Here we go. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm looking at my phone. Go for it.
All right. So what you're essentially there, you can see the teams where they finished,
Yep.
and their series win rate and their map win rate. So just quietly, MINDFREAK had the best map win rate. Cough, cough. Just saying. But the Divine Minds and MINDFREAK were equal on series win rate. We did have Digital Nation more or less as a self-funded team get over. And,
Yep.
they didn't do as well. I do know two of those guys pretty well, and they're good boys. But have a look at that. So that's what I'm talking about, the experience. Chiefs never won a series and literally won 2 maps and lost 15.
Yep.
That does not strike me as a pleasant experience. Like,
You're not
you're
learning.
not getting... or you're not even getting, if you think about the concept of, I want to get onto a larger stage, do you think any of those Chiefs players have made a compelling argument that they deserve to be on a bigger stage?
I would say no.
Yeah. And that sucks because I want them to have that, and that's the thing. But it's so difficult being in Australia.
Oh, for sure,
Because you
man.
get so few opportunities. So I don't know if you want to do that, but that's what I'm sort of thinking of. And it's like, I enjoyed the run, I enjoyed the story. We did quantitatively worse than Chiefs in that the results is they finished top 24 and we finished top 32, right?
Yep.
And that's fine, but I hell of a lot enjoyed my run than I'm
Oh, for
guessing
sure.
Chiefs enjoyed theirs. So
The experience is good up on main stage and all that type of stuff from just assessing the situation and watching it from afar. Personally, I've actually never been overseas, ever. I don't even have a passport. I need to go overseas. I need to go. I want to go.
oh
Badly.
damn, dude! All right, okay.
I should just get a passport, shouldn't I?
You're about to become a bucket list item for me now. Okay?
This is
getting
the thing,
you
man.
overseas to a passion pit.
Because I think that with me,
Hmm.
Americans love Aussies. But then if
Oh,
I did
absolutely.
the character at an event, it'd be something else.
Look, you are actually realigning my 2023 strategies now. Like, I have new goals, like actually taking you to a passion pit experience. For
That's what I do.
COD
At the
challenges.
COD LAN, I was talking shit. I wasn't even playing.
We've got to do this. Like, I can't believe you've never actually done a big 1,000-person passion pit in an American major. Like,
Mate,
you
I haven't been
have
overseas. I haven't been
All right,
overseas.
we gotta fix
The only
this. We have
overseas
to
I've
fix
done
this.
is when the
If
plane
Nick
goes to
Babia-
Queensland and it swings
Okay.
out over the ocean to go into the runway.
So all I'm telling me is I need to flip a dollar coin at Nick and I can buy out your contract. That's the way this works,
It
We-
is.
all right. Or we may need to talk contracts. We may need to talk about that. Maybe the remuneration for your contracts is getting you to a few international events, because it is a
Possibly.
crime that Jacko GFreak has not been in
I
a
know.
passion pit.
It needs to happen. It does need to happen. But
It's an imperative.
We can't be having that talk on this podcast. Nick will shoot me. Where's my pen gone? Holy shit! There it is.
Yeah. Mm.
But it'd be super dope. It would be fucking sick as to be able to
You
do
have to
that
do it.
and whatnot. It'd be so fun.
Yeah.
And with me, I'm always looking to create content. So showing up, bringing my camera all the time, doing all that type of stuff. I love it. It's me. You know what? You know how I'm like. I love to get up on stage and doing all that type of shit. But at DreamHack, I had people doing a bodybuilding competition, arm wrestles, squat holds, push-up comps. It was
Look,
crazy. It was sick as.
As a weird little question, I presume that you've got some stats in the back of your channel sort of stuff. I presume you have a decently tangible American audience?
Yeah, it's kind of there. It is definitely there. It's Australian and then American, absolutely. So to be able to tap into that market, where it's more accepted, it would be nuts. Like the other day, I went down to Flinders Street and I was walking around doing vox pops for the company, my previous company, and obviously that footage has now been put in the archives. But I was walking around asking people these topical questions like, pancakes or waffles, not that crazy. Sing your favorite footy song and, who's going to win the grant, all that type of shit. And every kid just wanted to know, what's your TikTok, dude? What's your TikTok, dude? What's your TikTok, dude? And I'm just like, whoa, what's up? It's just crazy. So if you hit an American market, holy shit, man, it'd be nuts. It'd be absolutely fucking nuts. But it's crazy.
like the dream success goal for me is to do sort of like a fanatic, like be an Australian founded org,
Yep.
but maybe not do the full fanatic thing and then just fuck off to Europe.
Yeah.
Like get to a point where we have an American base, we have a European base, staying with an Australian headquarters, and just be this utter pipeline to get people to bigger stages.
Yep.
You know, bring them home, let them do the home tour, let them do the thing, but absolutely just pave the way to be able to get them visas and working rights and an international audience and just make it like that. That's the continued goal. That's what we're growing with. That's the strategies we're putting into place at MindFreak, and we're getting that done now.
Yep.
In a lesser sense, but I would love to really like get that structure just like a super highway of just opportunities to the global stage.
Yeah. It's there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, and the world's changing ever so fast to be able to keep up. Like you said, there's a lot of shit happening in your week, and you haven't even seen half of it, but you know what's happening.
Oh,
it's everywhere.
All right, so let me do the reverse question sort of thing. We had the Twitch blog, an article announced where, you know, the world's worst kept secret, the secret rates for more successful Twitch streamers and yada yada yada. And then they basically said, yeah, now we're like completely doing the dirty by you all and not giving you any of it, and we're taking it away from the people who already have it in part. Is this the Amazon Lords and Masters cracking the whip and Twitch is dead or dying? Or was this just, I don't know, a required correction to the influencer entertainment industry?
I would say shareholders, at the end of the day, they love making more money. Daddy Bezos is probably like, fuck me, bro. I want to be the most, you know, well decorated, richest man that we know of in the world. Because out there, bro, you've got to be shitting me if Elon Musk is the world's richest man. There's no fucking way.
God, that is such a meme.
He is not the world's richest man. Same as Bezos. They get shit on by like probably a Saudi Arabian family, or some petrol family out there.
Do you know what actually breaks my brain about Elon Musk? Is that Tesla, okay, his main claim to fame or whatever, and SpaceX is there, and there's a solar thing and whatever else. The thing that breaks my brain is that Tesla is worth more than Toyota, Ford, GM, and like Mercedes-Benz and whatever else combined.
Yep.
Like that is a true fact. In stock market capitalizations, countries that are 100 years old and ship billions of vehicles in combining thing is less value than Tesla that ships a few 100,000 cars in some select markets, because the Elon Musk dick riding is that real.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I just don't get it. It's like capitalism has so many problems, but at some point you think that maybe the proper value things, but there is just so much fantasy hype around that man that it's insane.
It blows your mind. It definitely blows my mind. With all of it and whatnot, bro. You know, we've been live not live, but recording for an hour and a half. That's
well,
flying.
Look, if I'm boring you, man, I'm happy to get off.
No, I want to keep going, but this is where I kind of cut it because that's my limit. But
you may need to do a two-parter, maybe.
I'll have to get you back on.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I
have very much enjoyed this. I did drink my whiskey.
I love that.
Completely
what
down.
Was it? What was it?
I actually got given in a weird work, Chris Kringle, a nice Irish whiskey.
That's a nice Chris Kringle for work.
It wasn't too bad. Look, if you drew the boss in the Chris Kringle, like there's a bit of pressure there, you know? So I'm guessing
what everyone else get, fucking boxes of favorites.
What did I buy? I bought something really strange.
Lego set?
I got a Star Wars pencil case that I filled with chocolate. Because the person was a bit of a Star Wars fan, but I decided to treat it like it was a present for like a 6-year-old or something, and so I got like the little pencil toppers and whatever else. It was just a joke because the person I knew would receive it. But anyway, that's always fun and games. But no, the reason why it's Irish whiskey at the moment, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. I could get in trouble. You ready to see me get cancelled? Not a big fan of the monarchy and the British institution, and I don't know what people's personal opinions. I have an Irish background.
Yep.
And so drinking Irish whiskey while we're allegedly in this period of mourning for this British monarch was sort of my little, very quiet protest movement, from that perspective.
Oh, mate,
But if
everyone's uproared about that. They're fucking disgusting.
Look, did you see, and I'm hoping you saw this on Twitter, the Irish football crowd that was chanting?
No.
Okay.
You'll have to
I
link
don't
it
know
to
if
me
you-
after this. Link
Okay.
it to me after this.
Look, the words of the song were "Lizzie is in a box," and then it went from there. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can imagine an Irish full-throated football team.
Yep.
Maybe not the most enamored of the British monarchy for various historical reasons. Potentially being, I don't know if we could say happy, but maybe excited that the
passing.
monarch,
Yeah.
the passing of the monarch.
Well, my
was,
surname is Irish origins, and
okay.
But my grandpa, he's English from Manchester.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement in.
My mum,
yeah,
her mum, I think she was like Asian, so I'm part Asian as well, bro.
Okay. Wouldn't have picked it, but that's
wouldn't
fine.
have picked it. Very white, and very Australian. So, but you know how it is.
Anyway, I know you're trying to tie up this. I'm happy to come back. It has been an absolute.
I want to get you back
talking
on.
to you.
It's been fucking great.
I feel like we haven't, we did have a good, decent
We've had
chat
chats.
about COD.
We've had
We
chats.
had a good chat about COD. So,
No, but
I
even
think
before the
did-
podcast, we've had chats.
We have,
And but that's an event. It's very quick. It's very brief. There's a lot of people going around. You don't see everyone all the time and often. But this has been good, man. This has been real good. I think that it's gone down as one of the best episodes. Definitely up there.
Look,
on the podcast.
definitely. I won't claim that. I consider myself to be an old, boring dad.
I liked it, man. You were talking. I didn't have to push you at all. I didn't, mate. I had all these questions. I always do that. I have the questions with my guests and stuff, and you gotta bring them up here and there. But I actually didn't really bring them up at all. I didn't.
We're here to have a conversation.
Well, that's right. And it doesn't have to be about esports. It could be about whatever. Like, we didn't even touch about how you really got into esports. That's kind of one of the things that I get into. But we can do that next time. We can do that
for part 2. Tune in next time, children. Same
we can do that next time.
Channel.
We can do that next time, man. We can do that next time, and it'll be fucking grouse. So,
well, as I said, I'm pretty excited for Modern Warfare 2, which is meant to be out all too soon.
Yep.
Somewhat tempered in my excitement, but we'll see how we go. I've got a fairly big announcement, hopefully planned around that and around COD for MINDFREAK, which I'll tease just for you and your loyal viewers.
There we go.
But no, I am. Look, if Activision don't turn up for this bloody COD, I'm going to go to somewhere in
2 years.
And
they have
kick in the bloody door. But yes, but excited for the potential that could hopefully be realized. Let's go with that. That's political enough.
I'm keen for it. I'm keen for it too, man. I actually, quickly back to the previous topic about lightsaber pencil case. I actually bought a $1,100 real lightsaber.
What? Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
You can cause physical bodily harm with it type?
No, not one that actually ignites, but it's the most realistic one before it can actually turn into a blade. Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's very cool. Got it from America. And the worst part is that it came in and the fucking border security, Australian Border Force, just charged me $270 for clearance because it's over $1,000. How bullshit's that? Because they want to charge their duties.
It's not, sorry. It's technically not clearance. It's just GST for the most part.
Yeah, it's GST.
Anything over $1,000, they have to charge you GST.
Bullshit.
So
I didn't know that.
That would have been some of it. And then the rest of it would have been, because you made us charge you GST, here is our clearance duties on top. And I was like, boo!
Yep, that's what they did to me.
Let the guy order his lightsaber.
Yep.
So...
It was bullshit, man. So I'm just like, you know what? I emailed the company. I said, can you reduce the price or something? And I'm just like, if I wait for them and they don't reply and they say no, then I'm fucked. So I just paid it. I'm just like, fuck this. I want my lightsaber. It's coming on Monday, and you will see TikToks. Fucking, I've been waiting.
Okay, all right.
I've been wanting this for 3 years. I've been wanting this thing for 3 years, but it's been out of stock. And then I finally got it, and then once I ordered it, it took 16 weeks for it to come to me. 16 fucking weeks.
I'm not the world's biggest TikTok user. I have to say. Oh,
there we go. Jesus. Okay. But the TikTok, oh my God, I will make some good shit for you. That's for
You know,
sure.
how do I find? So again,
Don't worry
not
about my
that I-
TikTok. Just follow my Instagram. It'll be on my Instagram. I put for some
Okay.
reason my Instagram pops off more than my TikTok. Like last month, in the last 30 days.
Is this where I slightly embarrassing admit I'm not a huge Instagram user either, but I do use it
That's fine.
slightly more than TikTok.
There we go. But the weird part about Instagram, like TikTok, I get like 300 views of TikTok, but if I go on to Reels, I get average 10 plus, 10K plus all the time. The past
There we go.
month,
We're following.
there it is.
We're
There it
good.
is. Thank you
We're
very much. I'll
there.
follow back. The past 30 days.
I don't do any content, man. There's no point.
Don't follow back? Okay. The past 30 days, 133,000 accounts reached on
Yoicks.
on-
Okay.
on Instagram.
Yeah,
So-
look, if you look, you are a very entertaining person. We are a personal fan, okay? Like we
I appreciate
always
that.
have time
Thank you.
for the Jacko from that point of view. So I am not in any way surprised that there are 133,000 people like me. You know, like you are a compelling individual.
We just got to convert the numbers. I don't know how else to do it. Yeah. I don't know.
Look, I feel like we've absolutely started the second episode without even meaning it. But if I was to put on an esports event, okay, and part of what my hope is for an esports event is that I want the crowd to be really G'd up. I want the crowd to be passionately involved. I want the crowd to be sitting there golf clapping. So I would absolutely pay you to sit there in the crowd and like start chants and start insulting the players from the crowd to the
Yeah.
stage and just like absolutely go off on it and like get you to do like vox pops type stuff with
Yep.
the crowd. Give you a microphone, go fun, stick it on the main screen and have you do things like, because that is what I like about the esports is the crowd getting involved. Like you may be here as a spectator, but that don't mean shit in esports. Like I will drag you on stage and put a controller in your motherfucking hands and then I'll get Jacko to 1v1 you and that'll be the halftime show. And now we're doing some esports, people. So
There we go.
Like look, you test me on this, boy. Like I will buy out your fucking contract. Like I will go to Nick.
Hey, you're going to
and I
have to
will-
stretch your
I'll take
pockets.
it. We
$1.
can make
That's
this work.
100 cents. That's a big,
That is indeed 100
that's fucking
cents.
huge, man.
I don't think a 1 cent coin is legal tender anymore, so I might have some trouble finding 100 of them. But we'll make it work. I'll write him a check, okay? A check for 100
Gee
cents.
whiz. Gee
There you go.
whiz. All right, man.
Anyway.
Is there any final words that you want to dish out before we head off and wrap it up?
Look, the whole point of why we do what we do is because being passionate about something is the only reason why you should be alive. And like just find something that excites you. May not be competitive COD, may not be esports. It could be playing a flute, it could be playing chess with anal beads up your ass. I don't know what it is, but absolutely pick something that makes you excited to be alive and then just do it. Like just do it. You're just going to have so much more fun, so much more meaning, so much more just life. And that's just always the best way that you can do anything. So find that thing, do it. Okay.
Just do it. Just
Do
do
it.
it. Okay.
Just do it.
Okay, Nike.
Right. Look, I'm not saying anything, but Nike, if you want a sponsorship, I have assets here. Okay.
There's
Just
a
saying.
nice little spot right there in the neck.
right there, right there on the jersey. You know, we can make this
I
work.
reckon you'd go the centerpiece right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Right
Nike,
there.
if you want the centerpiece,
Actually, they-
only $23 million for the jersey spot.
They
Easy.
do. They
Cheap at
ask
twice the
for
price.
whatever that you want. They want, and you just bend over and do it. Okay.
Oh, good. All right, I'll let you escape, man. We will
Appreciate that, man.
actually accidentally do it.
We've got to do another episode because I'm sure everyone listening would have enjoyed this episode as much as I did. But ladies and gentlemen, let's make sure to follow Michael on his socials and support MindFreak as well. At MindFreak and my MJC on Twitter and whatnot. All the links will be down in the description. If you guys have got to this part of the stream or the podcast on YouTube, make sure to leave it a
Kudos.
thumbs up. Make sure to leave it a 5-star rating on all the streaming platforms on Apple, Spotify, and Audio Boom, which is where you can find all the audio distributors around the world. But thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to be safe, stay swell, and as always, boom, baby. Peace.